Breaking news from around your world on this Thursday, May 30th, 2019. I'm Larry Rice. 7 South Korean tourists died and 19 remain missing after a sightseeing boat carrying them sank in the Hungarian capital of Budapest Wednesday night. The boat was carrying 33 South Korean passengers and 2 Hungarian crew members and collided with another ship on the Danube River near the country's parliament building. 7 passengers were rescued and a massive search operation is underway for the missing passengers and crew. The South Koreans were on an hour-long sightseeing tour of Budapest when their boat collided with a Viking cruise ship amid a downpour Wednesday evening. All those rescued have been released from the hospital, except for one who's being treated for broken ribs. 19 South Koreans and 2 Hungarian crew members, the captain and his assistant, remain missing. Officials said preparations to raise the 70-year-old boat, which was built in the former Soviet Union, could take days. Police launched a criminal investigation into the incident. Saudi Arabia's foreign minister on Thursday urged Muslim nations to confront with all means of force and firmness recent attacks in the Persian Gulf that U.S. and some Arab officials have blamed on Iran. Ibrahim al-Assaf made the comments at a preparatory meeting of foreign ministers of the 57-nation Organization of Islamic Cooperation, or OIC, ahead of a trio of summits in the kingdom's holy city of Mecca. Saudi Arabia hastily called for the meetings in response to the spike in tensions with its key rival, Iran. That King Salman could quickly bring regional leaders and heads of state to Mecca so rapidly reflects the kingdom's weight in the region and its desire to project a unified position on Iran. Saudi Arabia will seek to use the optics of the Mecca gatherings to send a clear and powerful message to Iran, which itself is also a member of the OIC. An Iranian official was at the OIC meeting where al-Assaf spoke Thursday, but Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif did not attend. Iran denies being involved in the attacks, which come amid heightened tensions between Tehran and the U.S. The first of the 3 summits starts with a meeting of the 6-nation Gulf Cooperation Council on Thursday evening. Israel's parliament voted Wednesday to dissolve and hold a repeat election in September after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was unable to form a coalition government. Netanyahu's party won a tightly contested election in April, but he was unable to broker a deal between secular right-winger and ex-defense minister Avigdor Lieberman and the country's ultra-Orthodox parties, who were at odds over a bill that would increase the number of ultra-Orthodox Jewish men conscripted into the army. Instead, by a vote of 74 to 45, the Knesset agreed to disband. That means for a second time this year, Israelis will head to the polls, casting doubt on Netanyahu's political future. The centrist Blue and White Party's leader, Benny Gantz, said he should be given a chance to form a government if Netanyahu cannot. Likud and Blue and White each won 35 seats in Israel's parliament in April. Nearly 4,000 people have been either taken into police custody or arrested on drug-related charges in South Korea 3 months after drugging and rape incidents were exposed at Burning Sun, the nightclub owned by a K-pop band member. South Korea's National Police Agency said Thursday a total of 3,994 people were arrested in a sweeping crackdown that included raids at more than 100 entertainment establishments where drug trafficking and prostitution were commonplace. Most of those arrested were charged with drug-related crimes, and some were also charged with sexual assault or rape while under the influence of narcotics, and others were charged with taking illegal videos during drug use. Most of the suspects are in their 20s and 30s, and nearly 40% of the crimes involved the use of ecstasy, the amphetamine-based synthetic drug with euphoric and hallucinatory effects. In March, President Moon Jae-in called for an investigation into the Burning Sun scandal and the club where wealthy clientele raped drugged women as police looked the other way. A total of 148 large-scale entertainment establishments were raided in the course of the police investigation. Police have asked the National Tax Office for permission to confiscate $1.6 million in illicit assets and to tax more than $23 million of club revenues that may have gone unreported to local authorities. Thousands of residents in Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana braced for more flooding Wednesday, and some even evacuated their homes as forecasts of more rain drove fears that decades-old levees girding the Arkansas River may not hold. More than a week of violent weather, including downpours and deadly tornadoes, has lashed the central United States, bringing record-breaking floods in parts of those states, turning highways into lakes and submerging all but the roofs of some homes. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson said this is a flood of historic magnitude. Hutchinson sent a letter to President Trump asking for a federal emergency declaration for Arkansas. In the letter, he stated the levee system along the Arkansas River has not seen this type of record flooding before. More heavy downpours were forecast through Wednesday night over much of Oklahoma and Arkansas. In Tulsa, Oklahoma's second largest city, the mayor warned that the city's levees were being tested in a way that they have never been before. At least 6 people have died in the latest round of flooding and storms in Oklahoma. In Louisiana, the Mississippi River was also at record flood levels due to record-breaking rainfall this spring. President Trump authorized emergency aid from the Federal Emergency Management Agency for the state on Wednesday. Nepalese authorities said Wednesday that they were considering changing rules on allowing climbers to attempt to reach the summit of Mount Everest, following reports of human traffic jams near the world's highest peak. At least 11 climbers have died on Everest this climbing season, some after waiting in line for reaching the peak and then trying to descend. Some climbers have complained of aggressive behavior that has created a zoo at dangerously high elevations. Currently, nearly anyone interested in trying to reach the summit can get a permit, but some authorities are pushing to make applicants show proof of extensive mountaineering experience and good health. One member of the Nepalese parliament said it's time to review all the old laws. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg will face a leadership vote Thursday when shareholders meet to discuss the social media company's direction. The meeting comes at a time of heightened criticisms for Zuckerberg, who owns a minority of Facebook shares, but because he's an early investor, he still controls nearly 60% of the company's voting power. It's a result of Facebook's dual-class voting structure, which gives early investors voting power 10 times more powerful than newer shareholders have. Zuckerberg and his company have been at the center of multiple controversies recently, leading some to advocate for leadership change. The Cambridge Analytica scandal and the role of social media in Russia's campaign to disrupt the 2016 U.S. election are two subjects that have some calling for change at the top. Zuckerberg also faces a contempt charge in Canada's Parliament for ignoring requests from lawmakers to testify. Facebook co-founder Chris Hughes warned of Zuckerberg's increased power in a recent New York Times op-ed, writing, "Mark's power is unprecedented and un-American." Other proposals aim to break Facebook into smaller companies, and one seeks to hire an independent chairman to replace Zuckerberg. Uber plans to start banning riders who have received low ratings from drivers, according to a post by the ride-hailing company in a blog. Only riders with ratings that are significantly below average will be kicked out. Respect is a two-way street, and so is accountability. Drivers have long been expected to meet a minimum rating threshold, which can vary from city to city, according to Kate Parker, Uber's head of safety brand and initiatives. She said, while we expect only a small number of riders to ultimately be impacted by rating-based deactivations, it is the right thing to do. The company said it would launch the policy in the United States and Canada, giving riders a screen on the Uber app advising them on expectations such as being polite and not leaving trash in the vehicle. Riders will get warnings before they're banned. Singapore took the top spot as the world's most competitive economy, led by an advanced technological infrastructure, a skilled workforce, favorable immigration laws, and a good business climate. The United States got knocked out of the top spot to number 3 on the list of IMD World Competitiveness rankings for 2019. Excitement over the Trump administration's tax policies has faded as value of the dollar fluctuated, high-tech exports were weaker, and fuel prices rose. The top 5 most competitive economies are Singapore, Hong Kong, United States, Switzerland, and United Arab Emirates. Some countries making the biggest gains in 2019 were Ireland, up 5 spots, Qatar, 4 spots, Iceland, up 4 spots, Thailand, up 5 spots, Saudi Arabia, up 13, and Indonesia, 11 spots. Countries that declined in 2019 include Japan, dropping 5, Poland, dropping 4 spots, Portugal, dropping 6 spots, Turkey, 5, and Argentina, down 5 spots. And that's your update for this Thursday, May 30th, 2019. I'm Larry Rice. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.